Folded your shirts the way you like, left little notes you never find. Cooked your favorite on tired nights, smiled so you wouldn't see me cry. I memorize the way you breathe, the way you pull away in sleep. I gave you parts of me so deep you never thought to keep. I was standing right beside you, but somehow miles away. Loving you in colors you only saw in gray. You never saw me, not the way I saw you. I was screaming softly while you stepped right through. I was breaking slowly, trying not to fall. I gave you all of me. You never saw me at all. I shrink myself to fit your mood, turned down my light so you feel tall, held my tears like fragile truth so you would never feel small. You said I was too sensitive, too much heart, too much care, but loving you was all I did, and you were barely there. I was dying in the silence, hold the space between your words. You called it just a rough match, I called it being unhide. You never saw me, not the way I saw you. I was bleeding quietly, trying to be enough for you. I was fading slowly against your empty walls. I gave you all of me. You never saw me at all. Did you ever notice the way I stopped laughing loud, the way my hands would tremble when you shut me out? I was right in front of you, begging with my eyes, but loving someone blind like you was my soul. But I never saw me, but I see now. I was losing pieces just to keep you somehow. I was disappearing so you could stand tall. I gave you all of me. You never saw me at all. You never saw me at all. You used to look at me like fire, like I was everything you'd need. But somewhere in between the months, your love began to leave. Your voice got tired when I spoke, your touch felt half alive. I started questioning myself just to keep us alive. I changed the way I wore my hair, the way I laughed too loud. I tried to be the girl you choose if I could just figure out how. You never You didn't have to try. You just looked at me different, and I shrank inside. I felt worthless in your eyes, like I was easy to replace, like loving me was compromise, like I was taking up your space. You didn't say the words, but I heard them every night. The way you turned away from me told me I wasn't right. I felt worthless in your eyes, and it broke something in mine. I stopped asking where you'd been. Stopped asking if you cared. Just asking, because every time I reached for you, I felt you disappear. You held your phone tighter than me, like I was just routine. And every time you would sigh at me, I felt 17. Like love was something I had to earn, like I was hard to keep. Like baby, if I heard less loud, you finally choose me. Never said I wasn't enough, but you made me feel that way. And silence can be cooler than words you'll never say. I felt worthless in your eyes, like I was second place, like loving me was just too much for you to fully embrace. You didn't have to leave to make me feel alone. You were standing next to me, but I was on my own. I felt worthless in your eyes, and I started losing mine. How did I go from you everything to someone you barely see? How did I love so desperately while you were done with me? I feel worthless in your eyes, and I believed it for a while. I let your distance redefine the way I saw my smile. But I'm starting to realize the truth I couldn't see. If I felt small beside you, it wasn't because of me. I saw it in the way you turned when I reached out at night. Your body there but not your heart, your arms without the tide. I heard it in your shallow laughs, the way they didn't stay. The way I love you started sounding like something you just say. I knew before I let myself admit what I was losing, but loving you felt easier than finally choosing me. I felt the distance growing like cracks beneath my feet. but I kept building bridges to someone who wouldn't meet. I stayed too long in a love that wasn't mine, held on to hope like it would change with time. I stayed too long, begging in my mind, trying to fix a heart that had already left mine. And every second I held on, I let myself go wrong. I knew you were gone, but I stayed too long. I made excuses for your cold, said he's just stressed again. I told my friends we were okay while breaking from within. I watered something dying, the tears you didn't see, and blamed myself for wilting when you stopped choosing me. I felt the loneliness of lying by your side. It's strange how you can lose someone before they say goodbye. I was afraid of empty, afraid of starting new, but what I didn't realize was I was emptier with you. I stayed too long in a love that barely tried, ignored the ache I couldn't hide. I stayed too long, hoping you'd come back to the man I thought you were, but he was never that. And every night I told myself, just hold on, just be strong. But loving you like that was staying too long. Why is it easier to fight for someone else than fight for your own heart and choose yourself? I was scared of losing you, but I was already lost. Holding on to you was the highest cause. I stayed too long, but I'm leaving now. Even if my hands still shake, I won't turn around. I stayed too long, but I finally see the love I kept begging for has to start with me. You said you loved me, but never with your whole heart. There was always a door half open, like you might still depart. I felt it in your hesitation, in every future plan, like I was just a maybe you held inside your hand. You kept me close, but not too close, somewhere safe between the girl you had and the girl you leave. I was fighting for forever, you were comfortable with we'll see. I was building something sacred, you were keeping options free. I was unchosen, even when you held my hand. Oh, unchosen, even when you called me your woman. You loved me halfway, like that was enough. But halfway love still breaks someone. I was standing in your life, but never your first place. I gave you all my heart, you gave me second space. I was unchosen, and I felt it every day. Never far from me, not the way I did for you. When things are hard, you go quiet, like love was option two. I begged without the words, the tears I tried to hide. You never chased me once when I pulled back and cried. I waited for you to prove I was worth the risk, but loving someone careful feels like this. I kept trying to be enough to finally be your first, but you can't compete with someone's fear of hurt. I was unchosen, even in yours, unchosen, even when you swore I was the one. If I had to convince you to stay and fight, then I was never your right. I was living in your shadow of what could have been, but love shouldn't feel like trying to win. I was unchosen, if us even began. Tell me, if I walked away sooner, would you have run after me? Or would you have just let me go quietly, the way you always did? I was unchosen, I was unchosen, but I'm choosing me now. Even if it hurts, even if I don't know, you love me halfway and called it real. But I deserve a love, and yours how to feel. I was unchosen, but I won't be again. The suitcase on the bedroom floor, zipped up but not all the way. I folded pieces of my life, you didn't ask me to stay. The lamp was on, the room was dim, your shadow on the wall. You scrolled your phone in silence, like nothing hurt at all. I waited for a single word, something to make me pause, but your quiet felt louder than any fight we I realized that night you'd never fight for us at all. That was the night I left, not because I stopped loving you, but because I finally understood you never loved me like I needed you to. I stood there crying, you barely looked up. I was breaking in front of you, and you still said nothing. That was the night I left, with my heart in pieces, and you let me. It felt so unfamiliar, like you knew I wouldn't return. Every step away from you felt like something burned. I thought you called my name before I reached the door, but silence followed me across the wooden floor. I turned the handle slowly, half hoping you would move, for love should need one last chance to prove I loved you louder than you ever knew. But I can't keep begging, that's something you won't do. That was the night I left, mascara on my sleeve. You watched me walk away, like I was easy to leave. I kept looking back through tears I couldn't stop, waiting for you to choose me, but you never got up. Ooh, that was the night I left, and something inside me finally did too. If you had just reached for me, I would have stayed. If you had just said don't go, I would have broken stay. But you didn't move, you didn't try, and that's how I knew love had already died. That was the night I left. Ooh, that was the night I left. That was the night I left, with trembling hands, not because I was strong, but because I couldn't stand feeling and wanted in someone's arms. I chose my pain over your calm. That was the night I left, and you let me. I never said please love me, never fell down to my knees, but I cleaned up every mess you made just to keep you pleased. I memorized your bad days, learned the shape of your moods, turned myself into silence so I wouldn't be too much for you. I laughed when you dismissed me, pretended I was strong, but every joke at my expense felt like I didn't belong. I never asked you to stay, I never made a scene, but every quiet compromise was me begging in between. I was begging without words, with the way I look at you, hoping you would finally see all the Never said don't hurt me, never said I'm scared, but every piece of me was asking, do you even care? I stayed up when you came home late, acted like it's fun. Told myself that love means trust, even when it's blind. I wore the dress you liked the most, even when I felt small. Try to be the easy girl who never needs it all. I thought if I was gentle, if I gave you room to breathe, you would choose me freely instead of wanting to leave. But love shouldn't feel like you're waiting to be picked. And I was standing there, quietly sick. I was begging without words, through every compromise, hoping you would fight for me just once in your life. I was begging in the pauses, in the way I'd hold your head tight, don't like you. I was still your woman. I never said please stay, but my heart did every day, and you never heard it anyway. Is it weak to want someone to want you back the same? Is it foolish to stay soft when love feels like a game? I thought dignity meant silence, I thought strength meant no tears, but I was breaking quietly for years. I was begging without words, but I won't do that again. Someone has to convince you that whenever you're mad, I gave you silent emotion, you gave me quiet doubt. I was begging without words. Now I'm walking out. You didn't slam the door, you didn't raise your voice, you just stopped choosing me like I was never a choice. You didn't cheat in obvious ways, didn't leave a mark, you just slowly dimmed the lights and called it growing apart. I kept waiting for the storm, something loud to blame, but the way you loved me less was how you played again. No shattered glass, no screaming fights, just little cracks on silent nights. You broke me quietly, piece by fragile piece, with half-hearted kisses and love that wouldn't reach. You broke me softly, so I couldn't even see the way I was disappearing right in front of me. There was no big goodbye, just a slow fade, and I was begging without words, but I won't do that again. Someone has to convince you that whenever you're mad, I gave you silent emotion, you gave me quiet doubt. I was begging without words. Now I'm walking out. space between. You stopped asking how I felt, stopped noticing my tears, started living like I wasn't there for all those years. I talking you and I, but your mind was somewhere else. And every time you pulled away, I blamed it on myself. I wish you would've heard me loud, at least I'd know the truth. But slow neglect is harder and makes a fool of you. It's fine, it's just stress, but love shouldn't feel like slowly meaningless. You broke me quietly, with silence in your tone, with arms that held my body, but left my heart alone. You broke me gently, so no one else could say. To someone distant, is it all kind of hell? You didn't have to leave to undo me completely. You broke me quietly. I would have forgiven anger, I would have fought through pain, but how do you survive with love just strains? You didn't shatter me at once, you just let me fade. And the worst part is, I helped you break me that way. You broke me quietly, but I hear it now, the sound of something fragile finally falling down. You thought I wouldn't notice, you thought I'd always stay, but quiet breaking still breaks the same. You broke me quietly, and I'm still learning how to You didn't slam the door, 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 you didn't slam the door. You didn't slam the door, you didn't slam the door, you didn't slam, you didn't slam the door, you didn't slam the door, you didn't slam, you didn't slam the door, you didn't slam. You didn't slam the door, 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 you didn't slam the door. You didn't slam the door, you didn't slam the door. You didn't slam the door, you didn't slam the door. 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 You didn't I counted every little thing you barely kept in mind. Your favorite songs, your coffee strong, the way you hate goodbyes. I held your fears like fragile glass, like they were mine to keep, while you slept through storms inside me. They ran too dark, too deep. I showed up every single time, even when it hurt. But loving you was natural, loving me was work. I kept getting pieces, you kept getting space. I was running toward you, you were walking away. I loved you more than you ever knew, more than you ever tried to, more than you wanted to. I loved you louder than you loved me back. I carried us together while you let us crack. And now I see the truth I tried to ignore before. It wasn't complicated, I just loved you more. I memorized your silence, learned how not to need, turned my heart into something that would beg you silently. You said love shouldn't be heavy, but I was holding both your half-hearted devotion and my unwavering hope. I thought if I stayed patient, if I proved I wouldn't leave, you'd wake up one morning and finally choose me. But love can't be balanced when one side's unsure, and I kept pouring oceans into someone shallow. At the shore, I loved you more, and that's what broke my heart. I was writing us forever, you were just playing a part. I love you deeper than you could ever go. I filled you up with everything you barely chose to show. And maybe that's the hardest thing to finally admit. I loved you more, and you were fine with it. Did you ever feel the weight of what I gave, or was I just convenient to have? I would've stayed forever, you would've stayed for now, and that difference is everything somehow. I love you more, but I won't love like that again. I will shrink myself just to fit a careless man. I loved you fully, asked you if we were okay. You said, why wouldn't we be? But your eyes were somewhere far away, not looking back at me. I asked you if you felt the change, if something felt off inside. You shrugged and turned the TV up and let the moment die. I kept searching for reassurance in the space between your breaths, but every question that I asked just echoed in my chest. You never said the words that I was scared to hear, but the way you wouldn't answer made it crystal clear. Your silence was the answer. I just didn't want it true. Every time I needed clarity, I got quiet from you. Your silence was the answer. In the way you'd let things fall. Love shouldn't feel like talking to all. You didn't have to leave to let me understand. Your silence was the answer. When I cried, you held me still, but never asked me why. You said it's just a phase, or watching something die. You stopped saying forever, started saying we'll see. And every little hesitation was loud enough for me. I kept waiting for you to prove my doubts were wrong, but silence can stretch longer than someone holding on. I begged for honesty, but you chose comfort instead. And sometimes what's unspoken screams inside your head. Your silence was the answer when I asked if you still cared. When I reached across the distance and found nobody there. Your silence was the answer when I packed my things that night. You didn't try to stop me, and that told me I was right. You didn't have to hurt me loud to make it understood. Your silence was the answer, and it said you never would. I would have faced the truth if you just let it speak, or you would let me drown in words you couldn't keep. I was waiting for a sentence to say what we had left, but silence filled the room and chose itself. Your silence was the answer. I hear it clearly now. Love doesn't go quiet when it still knows how. You never said I'm done, but you showed me enough. Your silence was the answer. And it said I wasn't Your silence was the answer. if we were okay. I asked you if we were okay. Locked the door, turned on the sink, so no one hears a thing. Sat on cold towel, hugging my knees, trying not to scream. Not scared we're falling in quiet lines on porcelain and skin. I told myself just 5 more minutes, then I'll smile again. I practiced how to look okay before I face the room. No one ever notices, and you're breaking in bloom. I became an actress in my own heartbreak, washing tears away like they were a mistake. Crying in the bathroom when nobody can see the girl who gave her everything and still felt empty. Crying in the bathroom with shaking hands and breath, trying to understand how love can hurt like this. I wipe my face, stand up too soon, pretend I'm fine by the afternoon. But the truth is, I was falling apart, crying in the bathroom with a broken heart. I'd hear you laughing in the next room, like everything was light, while I was holding oceans behind a locked door tight. I didn't want to seem dramatic, didn't want to seem weak, so I learned how to suffer without making a sound when I speak. Cold water on my swollen eyes, deep breath, count to 3. But love is supposed to feel like this. What's wrong with me? I kept blaming my softness like it was the flaw, with loving someone carelessly is the cruelest lie. Crying in the bathroom where towels don't judge, tears where mirrors show the truth. I've been hiding for years, crying in the bathroom, afraid you'd hear the pain, afraid if I said it out loud you'd love me even less again. So I dried my face and framed my part, but I was bleeding quietly from the heart. How did I get here? Begging the floor to hold me up. Why am I apologizing for loving too much? I thought if I stayed quiet it would hurt less somehow, but silence only made the tears fall louder. No more crying in the bathroom, no more heartache pain. If loving you is losing me, I won't do that again. I won't lock the door to protect your pride. If I have to cry, I won't hide. I replay every little thing, like maybe I missed a sign. Was it something I didn't say, or something I said at the wrong time? Did I love you too intensely? Did I care a little too loud? Was I too soft for your silence? Too honest, too proud? I traced the outline of your absence, like it might explain the end. But no matter how I turn it, it always lands on me again. You never said I left, but you slowly pulled away. And when someone leaves quietly, you start to blame your own mistakes. Was I not enough? Not pretty enough to stay? Not easy enough to love without pushing you away? Was I not enough? Did I ask for too much truth? Did my heart weigh heavy on someone like you? I gave you everything I was, every fragile part. So tell me why it still wasn't enough to keep your heart. I stood beside your storms, held steady through the rain. But when I needed shelter, you stepped outside the pain. You said I was amazing, said I deserved the best. But somehow I was never the one you chose to protect. I shrink inside the question, it echoes through my chest. Yes, I was everything you wanted. Why did you love me less? It's easier to doubt myself and accept what might be true. Maybe I was always enough, just not enough for you. Was I not enough? Oh, were you never sure? Was I too much heart for someone insecure? Was I not enough? Or did you just not try? Did I love you deeply while you left me half alive? I keep searching for a smile to make it make some sense, but maybe love just leaves without defense. If I had been quieter, would you have stayed? If I had been colder, would you have fought for me that way? I would have changed many things to make you hold on, but I shouldn't have to change to be someone's one. Maybe I was enough, just laughing around hard. Maybe I was enough from the very start. Maybe the problem wasn't the way I loved you. Maybe it was that you didn't know how to. Was I not enough? Or will you just unable? Your side of the bed is colder now. The sheets don't feel the same. I reach across and half asleep, still whispering your name. The pillow keeps your outline, like you just stepped outside. But the silence in this bedroom says you're not coming back tonight. The clock is louder than before. Every second hits my chest. I never knew how loud it gets when loneliness is left. I thought I wanted space, thought distance might feel smart, but space feels different when it's wrapped around your heart. Empty bed, heavy heart, too much room in the dark. No arms around my waist, just memories falling apart. Empty bed, heavy heart, the quiet tears me in two. I thought I was afraid of losing you, but I'm afraid of missing you too. The night feels longer since we've been apart. Empty bed, heavy heart. I never realized how much your breathing filled the air. Now every little movement reminds me you're not there. The closet looks uneven, your shirts are finally gone, but somehow it still feels like I'm the one who's wrong. I said I needed better, said I deserve more, but knowing that doesn't make this loneliness easier to ignore. Strength feels different when the lights go out. It's easier in daylight, harder with doubt. Empty bed, heavy heart, no one to reach for when I fall. I try to walk away, but that doesn't hurt less at all. Empty bed, heavy heart, worried how to sleep alone. I finally left you, now I'm ready to let go. The quiet keeps asking if I did the right part. Empty bed, heavy heart. I miss the warmth, even if it wasn't real. I miss the comfort of something I could feel. It's strange how pain can still crave touch, even when it knows it deserves more. Empty bed, heavy heart, but I'm still here I keep replaying memories like they were made of gold. But when I look a little closer, they're not the way I told. I painted you in brighter shades than you ever showed. filled in gaps with promises you never really wrote. I thought you were my safe place, my always, my sure thing. But I was loving potential, not what was happening. I don't miss the way you lived or how you made me doubt. I miss the version of you I built inside my heart. I miss who I thought you were, the man who never let me fall, the one who'd fight for us, the one who'd choose me through it all. I miss the future in my head, the forever we rehearsed. But the truth is clear now, it wasn't you I lost first, it was the dream I kept defending. I miss who I thought you were, not who you ended up being. You weren't cruel or vicious, you just weren't what I believed. And sometimes that's the hardest part, of finally letting leave. I held on to you maybe, like it meant someday. But loving someone halfway is still walking away. I thought if I stayed patient, you would grow into that man. But you can't force forever with someone who never played. It hurts to face the difference between truth and what you see, between the love you hope for and what it turned out to be. I miss who I thought you were, the softness in your voice, the way you used to look at me, like loving me was choice. But maybe that was early life, before it started to fade. Maybe I was holding on to something I made. I miss who I thought you were, but I don't miss begging for more. It's easier to miss an illusion in your mind than admit the real version was never that kind. I love the way I felt with you before the cracks appeared. Maybe I miss that girl more, the one who wasn't scared. I miss who I thought you were, but I see it differently now. The mornings feel different now, sunlight on my face, no one reaching out for me, no one in my space. I make coffee just for one, sit quiet at the table. It's strange how peace can feel so unfamiliar. I still check my phone sometimes, like you might change your mind. But healing isn't sudden, it's small and undefined. I thought I couldn't make it through a single night, but here I am still standing in the morning light. I'm learning to breathe alone, one slow breath at a time, letting the silence settle, letting my heart unwind. I'm learning to breathe alone, without your shadow near. It still feels heavy in my chest, but at least it's clear. No against the wall, opened up the curtains wide so the light can fall. I started writing down my thoughts instead of texting you, and every word I keep to myself feels like something new. I still miss the comfort of knowing someone's there, but comfort without effort isn't love, it's fear. I used to measure my worth by the way you would hold my hand. Now I'm slowly understanding I can't stand. I'm learning to breathe alone through nights that feel too long, through moments when I used to get why I had to be strong. I'm learning to breathe alone, and though my voice still shakes, every breath without you is a choice I made. No more shrinking quietly to keep someone at home. I'm learning to breathe alone. Maybe love was never meant to cost me who I am. Maybe walking away was the bravest plan. I'm still tender, still healing slow, but I'm choosing myself, and that's how I grow. I'm learning to breathe alone, and it doesn't feel as dark. This space inside this quiet for a brand new start. I don't need someone to prove my heart is whole. I'm learning to be alone and finding my soul. I'm learning to breathe alone. I saw your name light up a screen. It wasn't even you, just someone else who shares it, but my body thought it knew. My chest went tight for half a second, like I was back in place, where loving you felt dangerous, and I forgot my own safe space. I tell myself I'm better now that I've come so far, but healing isn't silent. It leaves a little scar. I don't want you back, I don't miss the pain, but sometimes memories still fall like rain. My heart still shakes when I hear your song, even though I know we were wrong. My hands still tremble at certain nights when loneliness turns off the lights. I'm stronger than I was, but I won't pretend it's fake. I'm healing, but my heart still shakes. I can talk about you calmly now, without my voice breaking into. I don't check your social media like I used to do. I learned to sleep without reaching to your side, but sometimes I'm not quiet. Oh, feelings still collide, and that doesn't mean I go back or that I made a mistake. It just means loving deeply takes time to unmake. You don't disappear just because you're gone. The body remembers even when the mind moves on. My heart still shakes, but it doesn't bang. It doesn't run back, it doesn't break. My heart still shakes, but I stand my ground because I finally know what I'm worth now. I don't miss you, I miss who I was before I mistook half love for enough. My heart still shakes, but it beats for me, not for someone who couldn't see. My heart still shakes, but I'm not afraid. Every tremble reminds me of the choice I made. I walked away, and I won't retake, even if sometimes my heart still shakes. My heart still shakes. I walked past the place we used to go. Didn't feel much, just collapsed. Just a gentle kind of memory fading into the past. I said your name inside my head, and it didn't sting the same. It felt like reading old pages from a story without blame. I used to hold so tightly to what we used to be. Now I let the picture blur and let it leave me. There's no more questions, no more why. So many don't need answers, just a soft goodbye. This is my soft goodbye. No anger in my tone, no wishing you were different, no waiting by the phone. This is my soft goodbye. I release what we couldn't be. You weren't meant to stay, and that's okay with me. No sand doors, no tears to hide, just a quiet heart and a soft goodbye. I used to replay every word, searching for the fault. Now I see we were just two hearts that couldn't be what we thought. You weren't my villain, how was it your mistake? We were just a lesson we both had to take. I forgive the nights I cried, the doubts I used to keep. of the chapters, not the whole book. Some people teach you how much you took, and how much you deserve, and how much you can grow. Sometimes letting go is the deepest love you show. This is my soft goodbye with steady hands and heart. I don't hate the love we had, it just wasn't the right start. Just a healed heart and a soft goodbye. When the crying finally faded and the nights weren't so long, when your name stopped echoing in every single song, I noticed something different in the quiet of my room. There was space where you once lived, but it didn't feel like doom. I heard my own thoughts clearly, without fear, without defense. And in the middle of that stillness, I felt something make sense. I wasn't empty, I was just unheard. Underneath your shadow, I forgot my own words. I found myself in the silence, in the space you left behind, in the calm after the chaos. Then I finally chose mine. I found my voice in whispers that grew stronger every day. I found my strength in staying when you walked away. I thought losing you would undo me completely, but I found myself in the silence you gave me. I started wearing colors you never used to like, turned the music louder, danced alone at night. I remembered how I laugh when I don't feel small, how my heart feels lighter when it's not begging at all. I realized I had dimmed to make you feel secure, but love should never ask for someone to endure. I was never too much, I was just too bright for someone who was scared of loving that light. I found myself in the silence, not broken, just reborn, in the stillness of the morning. After nights that mourned, I found the girl who loves deeply, but now she loves aside. She won't chase someone who won't fight. I thought your absence would weaken me, but it gave back my identity. You were a chapter, not my whole story. You were a lesson, not my glory. And I don't resent you for what we couldn't be, because walking away led me back to me. I found myself in the silence, in the peace of letting go, in the courage it took to walk alone. I found my worth wasn't tied to who stayed or who didn't. I found my heart still soft, but now it's resilient. I thought I lost everything when you left my side, but in the quiet after you, I found my I used to measure my reflection through the way you look at me. If your eyes felt distant, I questioned what I couldn't see. I thought love was something fragile that I had to protect. Like if I wasn't perfect, you'd slowly disconnect. But I see it clearer now, what I couldn't understand. I was bending out of shade for someone who wouldn't stand. I was never lacking, never incomplete. I was just loving someone who couldn't meet me. I'm more than you ever knew, more than you could hold, more than the quiet tears you left me in the cold. I'm more than second chances, more than maybe someday, more than someone waiting for you to choose to stay. You thought I'd stay small to keep you comfortable, but I'm more than you ever knew. I gave you steady love, you gave me hesitation. I gave you open hands, you gave me reservation. And honest took your distance for something I should fix. But love doesn't require convincing someone to commit. I don't blame you anymore for not seeing what was there. Some hearts can't recognize a love that's rare. You didn't see my value, but that doesn't make it less. It just means you weren't ready for something honest, something blessed. I'm front of your eyes, but that won't change what I understand now. I don't need your recognition to know my worth somehow. I'm more than you ever knew. When I don't say it with pride, I say it with peace, with nothing left to hide. I don't need revenge, I don't need to prove. The only thing I needed was to see my own truth. You couldn't hold my heart, but that doesn't make it untrue. I'm more than you ever I held on to the anger like it kept me safe. Replayed every moment, every word you wouldn't say. I thought if I stayed bitter, I wouldn't feel the ache. But resentment is a shadow that refuses to break. And I'm tired of carrying what's no longer mine. Tired of letting yesterday steal my peace of mind. You didn't love me right, but I survived the fall. And I won't let your failures define me at all. I forgive you, not because you asked me to, not because it didn't hurt. All what you did was true. I forgive you for me, so I can finally breathe, so I don't drag your memory everywhere I leave. I forgive you for me, so my heart stays free. You don't get to live forever inside of me. You love me how you could, and that just wasn't enough. But I won't hate you for not knowing how to love. I release the nights I cried, release the things you said, release the girl who begged for more, and all the tears she shed. There's no victory in holding pain like it's a prize. Healing means surrender, not letting anger rise. I don't excuse the hurt, I just won't keep it close, because carrying that weight hurts me the most. I forgive you for me, so I can walk in life, so the next love I find won't pay for this fight. I forgive you for me, so my hair stay open wide, not clenched around the ghost of pride. You don't own my softness, you don't get that part. I forgive you to protect my myself free. No bitterness left, no need to agree. I forgive you for me. I don't flinch at your memory. It passes like a breeze. No sharp edges in my chest, no falling to my knees. I can say your name now without losing who I am, because loving you taught me how to stand. I gave you everything I had, and I don't regret the truth. It wasn't wrong to love that hard, it just wasn't meant for you. I thought you were my end, but you were just a door. And walking through the heartbreak led me to something more. After I loved you, I learned what I deserved. A love that doesn't hesitate, a heart that isn't unsure. After I loved you, I found my own light, not dimming who I am to make someone else feel right. I'm still soft, still brave, still open to something new. We're stronger than I ever was after I loved you. I don't hate the girl who stayed too long. She was just having the best she knew how to. I don't resent the nights I cried on the floor. They watered the roots of who I am now more. You didn't ruin me, you revealed me instead. Showed me what I won't accept and where I won't bend. Some loves are lessons, some loves are mirrors, and sometimes heartbreak makes your vision clearer. After I love you, I stopped begging to be seen, stop shrinking my voice to keep the peace between. After I love you, I don't fear goodbye. If someone can love me fully, I won't ask them why. I know what I bring, I know what I give, and I won't trade my heart just to feel chosen again. I'm not closed off, I'm just awake. I won't mistake silence for love I should take. And when love finds me again, it won't feel unsure. It won't feel like trying to prove I'm worth more. It'll feel steady, safe and true, because I finally know what to do. After I loved you, I became whole. Not because you stayed, but because I let go. After I loved you, I trust my heart. It may still be tender, good or strong at the start. You were part of my story, but not my end. And I don't need don't flinch at your memory.